The other thing that came out over the last couple of days is, of course, this insane video from MTV. So MTV released a video of a bunch of people who you would never want to associate with in real life. Like people who, you just look at them and how smug and self-satisfied they are, and you think, I would not want to be within 100 miles of these folks. MTV released a video of resolutions for white guys for 2017. They're telling you what your resolutions should be, because there's nothing more ideologically fascistic than telling other people what they should aspire to be in the coming year. Here's MTV informing you. Remember when MTV used to put on music videos? Remember that? Yeah, not anymore. This is what it is now.
It's about to be a new year.
And there's a few things we think you could do a little bit better in 2017.
First off, try to recognize that America was never great for anyone who wasn't a white guy.
Can we all just agree that Black Lives Matter isn't the opposite of All Lives Matter?
Okay, so I love that the first gal gets up and says, can we agree America was never great for anyone who wasn't a white male? No, we can't agree on that at all. As a Jew with ancestors who were Jews, I can pretty much agree America's the greatest country that God ever created. And by the way, for black people living in today's America, America's the greatest country that God ever created. And even during Jim Crow, America was a much better country for black people than the vast majority of countries around the world, which is not a case in favor of Jim Crow, God forbid. But to suggest that America was never great for anybody except white men is just a bunch of crap. I mean, how about white women, by the way? White women have had it better in America than any place else on earth. I mean, America is heaven for white women. And white women now earn more than white men. White women are going to college at a higher rate than white men. Even in the supposedly horrific, terrible, horrible, terrible 50s, women were actually pretty happy, if you look at the polls, of female satisfaction, because they were living in a prosperous country. And what a bunch of nonsense. And then this woman says, can we just agree that Black Lives Matter doesn't just mean Black Lives Matter? All Lives Matter is not a response to Black Lives Matter. No, because the entire Black Lives Matter movement is predicated on the notion that black lives are specifically under different assault than other lives in the United States by white people, and that is not true. And then I do love the fact that where they go next in this MTV video is they say, Black Lives Matter, All Lives Matter is not a proper response to Black Lives Matter, because of course all lives matter, but we're just talking about black lives now. And then the next thing they say is that not all lives matter.
Black lives just matter. There's no need to overcomplicate it.
Also, Blue Lives Matter isn't a thing.
Cops weren't born with blue skin, right? I mean, yeah, they weren't born blue.
Stop bragging about being woke. Stop saying woke.
Learn what mansplaining is, and then stop doing it.
Oh, and if you're a judge, don't prioritize the well-being of
Don't use woke. Okay, how about you stop using woke? It's obnoxious and no one knows what the hell you're talking about. These people desperately... This is Donald Trump's re-election ad right here, and it's fun to watch.
Tell me one at a time. Stand up. You are not looking out for them. Their safety is not your concern. Safety! 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 Get out! Yo, your baby needs to get out!
So, when it comes to human nature, the left doesn't believe that human beings are capable of great good or great evil. The left believes that if human beings are flawed, that's because the system is flawed. The system has made people bad. Right? This is what Marxism suggests. Marxism suggests that you're all widgets, and you're just a product of the evil capitalist system. So if you do something bad, then that's because capitalism made you that way. The free markets made you that way. Freedom made you that way. Thus, we have to overthrow it and build a fairer world. Human beings are bad because of Western civilization, which is evil, and was founded in racism and sexism and bigotry. Western civilization, you hear very often, is founded irredeemably on white supremacy. The reason that you have bad people, the reason you have individual races is because society broadly is racist. America is founded on this racism. And that white supremacy, that's what causes crime and poverty and inequality, not the fact that human beings do good things and do bad things, not the fact that some human beings commit crimes. No, the society at large is responsible for that, because if society were perfect, if you had a utopia, that would change the nature of human beings.
I think that you have to acknowledge the reality, regardless of which end of the ideological spectrum you're on, that this idea that the relationship between a corporation and a worker is an entirely voluntary one is a figment of our imagination. The reality is that the relationship depends upon the balance of power. Because if you were to really believe that it's totally a voluntary relationship, then you should be arguing for child labor, because that was legal at one time, and that was argued as a beneficial thing for the economy.
But the fact is that the children are not capable of consent, which is why the legislation was appropriate from all ideological points of view. In terms of whether basically this trickle-up economics, this idea that if you pay people $15 an hour, it will help the general economy, it's evidencing a differential point of view with regard to how money is invested and what makes your life as a consumer better. The truth is that Mother Teresa did less good for the world than Bill Gates, as a general matter. Because more people gained their jobs through Bill Gates, more people have a product that Bill Gates created, more people's lives have been bettered through Bill Gates. Mother Teresa did a lot of wonderful things. But the reality of the situation is that what makes your life better than people's lives were 50 years ago is all the new products and services developed by all the rich people who hire you. All of you out there who I'm sure are not rich, are you working for a poor person right now? Who is hiring you? Who's paying your salary? Unless you're working for the government, and even then you're not working for a poor person, you're paying for the rich people who actually pay the taxes that pay for you to work for the government. So this idea that economic growth is a function of people making $15 an hour versus $14 an hour is simply not true. The reality of the situation is that what makes the economy grow is new products and services that make your life better and which require millions of dollars in research and development. And as far as the point that was made about the salary of the CEO of Walmart, all I can say is this. Walmart has approximately, they're the biggest employer in the country. They have something on the order of 2 million employees across the country. Let's say we agree that 20 million is too much, and let's say that we cut that salary to zero. Great, we just gave everybody $10, right, for the year. So let's stop pretending that the vast wealth imbalance inside Walmart is causing poverty for people at the bottom.
Is an attorney and editor-in-chief at dailywire.com, and Ebony Williams is an attorney and a Fox News contributor. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you, Martha.
I want to get your thoughts on the ruling, but your thoughts first, culturally, on the reaction that this got from some on the left. Ben, what do you think?
Well, I mean, I think, number one, Trevor Noah is slightly below bubonic plague on the funny scale, so it's not really a shock that he'd come out with a tweet like that. But this shouldn't be a surprise. I think Trevor Noah kind of let loose what a lot of Democrats actually think, which is that there's no reason abortion should be safe, legal, and rare. The internal logic of that statement, the old Clinton formulation, doesn't hold. If abortion is about aborting something that isn't fully human, then why should it be rare? And if it is about aborting something that is human, then why exactly should it be legal? So the full-scale celebration that you see, the idea that abortion is actually birth control, that's what most Democrats believe, including the Democratic Party platform, which it was revealed today, calls for a destruction of literally all state and federal laws that restrict, quote, access to an abortion, as well as public funding for abortion both at home and abroad. They don't believe abortion should be safe, legal, and rare. They think that it's just a form of birth control.
That doesn't mean right now America is irredeemably racist or institutionally racist. Crime rates across different racial groups in the United States are crime rates not because America is this evil society that causes crime rates to happen. It's because there are individuals within society who are disproportionately grouped in certain areas who commit crimes. There's a very easy way not to go to jail. You worry about the criminal justice system being biased against black people, there's a very easy solution. Fewer black people should commit crimes. I know that sounds rough, but as individuals in a free society, that is the way things work. No one is forcing anybody else to commit a crime. If you want to avoid, you want to look at disproportionate rates of poverty. People like to attribute this to white privilege. Disproportionate rates of poverty are almost solely caused by the largest indicator, anyway, of intergenerational poverty, single motherhood. It's not white privilege that is causing black people to knock up other black people. It isn't.
Let him speak.
How are you, sir?
Sure.
Oh. How are you? Nice to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you. You know that you weren't registered, whatever, for the group didn't register you for an event. They have strict things, so you're not allowed, into the event.
Well, I mean, YAF did inform you that I was coming as a speaker, as a person sitting in the audience, as well as a member of Christina Hoff Sommers' team. So I'm not sure whether their standards are necessary. I'm also wondering exactly why it's so necessary to keep me personally out.
We're just following protocol, sir.
Well, why is your protocol to keep me specifically out?
What country protocol? Soviet Union or United States? Do you want to step over here to decide?
Well, I'm happy to do it right here if you'd like. I mean,
doesn't have to
needs to
step
be private.
The bottom line is it's private property, okay? That it wasn't proper procedures weren't followed, and you're not going to allow
So am I to understand that if I take 3 steps forward, you will attempt to have me arrested?
If you create a problem and you will not, leave the campus, yes.
Okay, so just to be clear, if I attempt to enter that hall right there and sit down just to listen to somebody speak, or if I attempt to ask a question or to engage in free speech, you will have me arrested.
At this point, yes, sir.
Okay, then I'm glad that we've clarified that situation. I'm also glad that in a city, I mean, clearly you have great security. I'm glad in a city that has some 4,000 shootings to this date, you have 30 members of security just for a 5'9", 165 Jewish guy. Just like maybe a mild allocation of resources.